Okay, I'm back. Let's try this again. I'm going to use a backdrop to show you what I'm doing. I don't know why every time I move the camera, I seem to lose you. So let's do it this way with the string art. Let's go again. Okay, for string art, you need a tray. Oh, we could do it this way. A tray. Hey, this works. I put 3 dots, some re-inker in there. Okay. And I apologize that we're going to have to do it this way because I don't know why I can't do it facing down. And then I have some linen thread. Now, I have red and blue in my tray here. And here's my linen thread. Okay, so those are the first pieces I need. Now, to get started, we use white cardstock. I'm using white cardstock, and it's the 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be tricky trying to do it this way, but somehow this is this is going to be interesting. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to take this book. Let me just see if I can do this back here. Can everybody see? No, that's not going to work. Okay. I just don't want to move my camera again. I'm going to get an old catalog like this, and I'm going to put my, I'm just using anything that you can squish this with. Okay, this will make sense. I apologize that it's going to have to, I'm going to have to show you this way, but let me show you how I'm doing this. So I'm putting these white pieces of paper with temporary glue in the catalog here. Okay, so now each piece I'm going to have to bring up. So those are the pieces that I'm actually going to do the string art on. So I'm just using this catalog as a backdrop. I don't know how I'm going to do this without moving the camera. I wish I could. You want to try it one more time with me? Let's try it one more time. Who's on that can tell me if this goes blurry again? All right, let's try it. You ready? Anybody with me? Can anybody see me? I'm just waiting to see if somebody can tell me if they can see it now. What a crazy day, huh? Was so looking forward to doing this. I wish I could tell, well, let's just see. Having a little technical difficulties. Looks good here? Great. Thank you, Gloria. Okay, so, again, now we can do this. I know it's okay now. This is going to be a lot easier. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, I put my re-inkers, the colors in here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to put that aside for 1 minute. I have 2 pieces of cardstock, 1 on each side, okay? Because this is what I'm using. This is how I'm going to make the flowers, okay? I don't want to move this camera out of range because I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose you guys. Let's just, so bear with me. I know it's crooked, but we're gonna have to make do with that. So what I did was I put some adhesive on the back side of this white piece of cardstock, and then I did the same thing on this one. I just butted them up together because I need to be able to pull the string between the 2 pieces. Okay, that makes sense. And hopefully you guys can see this. It looks like you can. Might move it down a little bit maybe. Okay, so with the re-inkers, the first one I'm going to do is red. So I've got my linen thread, and you're going to get your hands all dirty, by the way, with this. Okay, so just so you know, I'm going to stick this in my re-inkers, mush it down a little bit. You just want to get some ink on this. I will tell you that once you ink this up and run it through the cardstock, you can make like 6 cards, calla lily cards with this. Okay, so I'm just putting it in here, mushing it around a little bit. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Getting some re-inker on, some ink on this thread. All right. Just mush it around there as much as you can. You want to also leave, I do about 15 inches of linen thread because you want to have a good lead piece. All right, you definitely want to have a good lead piece because that's what you're going to be pulling out. So I got some re-inker in here, and that soaked it all up. So now I'm ready for the red. I'm just going to pull it out. I know you might not be able to see that part of it, but I'm going to bring this back in. This is the tricky part because when you lay this down, you got to be careful, but you might get a spot here. Like I said, this is a tricky thing to do, especially on camera. And I'm just going to roll it. It doesn't matter whether it's S's. Some people do S's. I'm just happy if I get this thing down on the paper. And I'm just laying it like that. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. All right. And then I'm going to close this book. This is why I'm using this book. It's a outdated catalog, and I don't really need it for anything. I put this other piece of white cardstock over here because I'm going to pull that. I'm going to fold it together. I don't need the cover. And remember that little lead piece I had? Well, that's right here. I'm going to turn this so you can see. This is the trick right here. You have to pull that little lead piece out very quickly. Okay? Don't hesitate. Just pull it. Just like that. Okay? Now I'm going to stick this over here because it makes a mess. And then I'm going to lift this up. There's the first calla lily. But I have 2 cards. You see what I mean? By meaning that you're getting 2 cards while you're doing this. And I inked that up, that red one, the string that I just took off there, that'll do 2 more of sets. So I'll end up with 6 of them. They just get a little bit lighter each time. So that's the red one. Now watch. Now I'm going to take the blue one, move this out of the way, and ink that up. And again, I use something, my stylus tool or my paper piercing tool, just to get the ink on there. Just slide it around, get some ink. Make sure you leave yourself a lead. So glad the camera's working now. Okay, so we're just gonna mush this in here. I actually think I'm gonna buy some like disposable gloves or something when I play with this. It's a lot of fun. And I'll show you the samples again. And don't forget, I'm going to do the free giveaway at the end of this from anybody that had placed an order over the weekend. You had till 8 o'clock. I do have some orders, so somebody's going to win that free stamp set. So again, I'm just inking that up. Okay. And I'm going to pull it out. Move this over here. Now I got the blue one. So I'm bringing back my book back in with my red calla lilies. And I'm going to lay the blue one down. Again, I'm just making circles, not worrying about it. And then I got my lead piece. Okay? I'm going to close this up because we want it to make sure it meets. That's why I glued it down temporarily. I'm going to slide this around so you can see it. There's the lead piece. Okay? And I'm just going to pull it out. No 2 cards ever come out alike, by the way. Rip it right out. Now I'm just going to put that one right here. Now when I lift this up, now I have red and blue. And they look like, it's string art. They do look like calla lilies. I love this. I fell in love with this. I just love it. So back to the red and blue. I just had this thing about red, white, and blue with 4th of July coming up, I guess. What I was talking about before, this is done with our linen thread. You see that it's not as thick, okay? This is done with baker's twine, which is still nice, okay? But it's a little thicker. So, and this one was also done with baker's twine. And you can see it didn't leave much in here. That's why I like the linen thread. if you can see that, because it's got a little bit more, I don't know, it's not as thick, is the only word I could use for it. Okay, so this would look great. Let me show you a couple of cards that I did this way already. Okay, so let's see if I can show you that over here. So this is a birthday card. Same technique, the red, white, and blue. This is a tent card, so then it says enjoy your special day. And I'm showing you these for a reason, because I'm doing something different to this card. And then this one is a sympathy card. Okay. And I didn't put a sympathy saying in there yet. And I'm just going to tilt the camera a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. Okay, so you see the red and the blue. And again, let me show you the other ones that I had done. We're doing something different to this one. This was with Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, you could do any colors. I just love this. Okay, so that looks good. If I was going to just finish them off, I would finish them off with like something like this. Okay. And I think I got those backwards. Oh, that one's upside down. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you can't see what you're doing. But I wanted to put white in there somehow. Wasn't sure how I could put white in there, so I played around with it. And here's what I came up with. I haven't seen it done yet. So I decided, bring my tray back in here. I took Versamark, and yeah, I guess you can see that. And I put a couple of drops of Versamark. Versamark is very thick, so you need to make sure you have enough of it in there. I took a third piece of string, and yeah, when I had a problem, I had to get off the computer. I had to re-sign on Facebook Live a couple times, but I'm back on, so you can see what you missed. Anyway, so I'm poking this down into the Versamark. Now, Versamark's really thick, and I don't want this really thick, so I'm going to show you a little trick I found. I'm just sliding this through to get the Versamark on there. And then I'm going to emboss the white over the colors. I thought it came out kind of neat, and I haven't seen it done yet. So, yay, I might be a first at something. Okay, so there we go. But again, remember, I don't want a real thick flower or string, because it's going to make a real thick flower. So what I did was I took my stylus, and before I pulled it out, I just held it up here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me move it back. I just put my stylus right here, and I kind of dragged some of the Versamark off of this. Make sense? There we go. Because I don't want a lot of Versamark on there when I do my next part. Bring it back in, and right on top of those colored calla lilies, I'm doing the Versamark. And this one will just go this way. Okay. And again, I'm going to close it up, turn it this way, and with that lead, pull it out real quick. These strings you can just keep on using. That's what, you know, you don't have to throw them out. The book, I'm just going to keep ripping the pages as I use them, because you get ink all over. When I do that, you can't really see it because Versamark is clear. I'm going to bring in my white. I can pull these off now. I don't need those on there anymore. Take that book out of the way. You'll hear me throw it on the floor. I'm going to bring my white embossing powder in. And I keep them in these nice, cute little trays. I got these on Amazon a while ago, but actually you can buy these in the dollar store now. Of course, right? And just throw some white embossing powder. Hopefully everybody can see. Yeah, it looks like you can see what I'm doing. And tap that off. Now you can see faintly the white calla lily there. These would make great 4th of July invitations, I think. And again, without heating it, which I'm not going to do, I did one already because of timing. Okay, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. So you would heat emboss those with the heat gun, the heat tool. Put this back here so I don't get it all over. And I'll bring in the one that's already done. Magic of TV. So it's very faint, very light. You can barely see the white one, but it's pretty cool. Okay. Now, the next part of it that I did, so we'll put that aside. The next part of what I did was, I love this ribbon. And it's white. But white on top of that, I didn't want to do. So what I did was, I colored it. I colored it red. You can color it any color you want. I just happen to do red. And there's little fuzzy dots on here. So you can actually color that side of it, and the fuzzy Swiss dots will get a lot more color on them. But I didn't want them to be colored. I wanted them to stay white. So I colored the back side of it. Can you see that? And I'll show you how I did that. So I took our sponge roller. I'm just going to take a small piece here of the ribbon. And we'll take the red. And I just put a little ink on the roller. Now, I did the back side, so I'm going to show you both. Okay, so this is the back side, and I just rolled it a couple of times so that I had some color. And let's see, I'll just use something that's white so you can see it. Now you can see it's got color on it. Now if you wanted a lot more color, and if you see the dots are still white on that side, let's say I wanted the dots red, let's just go back over on that side. And this is just to show you now. Got a little bit more red because the dots are red now. Okay. So I don't need that piece because I don't want that. That was just to show you. Yeah, I told you I had a lot to show you tonight. And because this is such a messy project, and I got ink right there, I'm just going to fold this over so we don't, I mean, my hands are already inked up. That's another great thing about the string art. Even if you get messy, it still comes out pretty good. So let's do this. So now I got my white calla lily, my red, and my blue. I'm going to just fold this red cardstock. I think I'm going to do it in red. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that piece that I had already colored. I'm going to tie it around. This is another thing that's hard to do on live TV. Where I had some red marks for my fingers, I don't know if you noticed those on the camera, but you could see some red. I got a little from the ink. It's not going to